super happy to be here. We love Bucks County, very prestigious club. Would you agree?
Yep, absolutely love them. Glad to be part of the family.
Done so much for us. First thing I'm going to tell you is that I put this together and I have no idea if it's going to be 20 minutes long or an hour long. We're just gonna go and see what happens here. Hopefully it'll be entertaining for you guys. Hopefully you'll learn something. But the biggest message today is going to be about enjoying the hobby as much as you can. First thing you should know about us, as we said, we're not doctors, we're not scientists. And I'm probably crack a joke when I say this. We've been in the hobby over 30 years, which would make you how old?
2.
I've been in the hobby 30 years. Liz probably been in the hobby less than that. She is
about 10 years.
Yeah. Created the Cichlid Club of York in Pennsylvania in 2010. Worked the American Cichlid Association from 2015 to 2019. That opportunity was given me from Wayne LaBelle, rest in peace, Libel. We're on the CARES team since 2016. We're part of the CARES program, the promotions. If you guys are not aware of CARES, definitely contact us. But it is people trying to save fish, endangered fish. I'm going to give you a sentiment that Craig Steve gave us. Is each hobbyist can keep one tank that had one CARES fish in it, we could save millions of fish that are endangered, or thousands of fish that are endangered. I'm also the creator. Liz and I are the co-creators of King and Queen Cichlids. We have over 8,000 subscribers. We're 200 away from 9,000 subscribers, and we've done that in 3 or 4 years. So if you finish this program and you're interested in big cichlids,
and you like this.
So at the end of this presentation, if I somehow convert you into wanting to keep big American cichlids, definitely check us out at King Queen Cichlids. We normally put out a video every week or so, and it has some good information about American cichlids, as well as what we're doing in our fish rooms. We also travel to other fish stores, fish events, etc. So definitely check us out. And then last but not least, I always like to throw this out here because it was such a momentous occasion for me. Grand champion of the 2015 North Jersey Aquarium Society 60th event. Why is that so big to me? Do you know why it's so big to me?
Because you got a great big trophy.
I got a great big trophy.
I beat Karen
Haas. I beat Kevin Carr, and it was the last fish event the North Jersey Aquarium Society ever ran. So I was the final
winner.
Champion.
You can never be overtaken. Blah blah blah.
And just a footnote: the Cichlid Club of York, the following year, that's when we started
our first fish club.
Class.
With about, what, 20 people in the?
No, it wasn't our first fish club. We already had the club.
I meant first fish show.
Yeah, which was the Clash of the Cichlids, which would later become Keystone Clash. All right, before we get started, we're here for a reason, and it's because of some of the people we're getting ready to talk about. Mo Devlin, an absolute rock star. When I think of Mo Devlin, he's a rock star. Mm-hmm. I fell in love with his photography in Tropical Fish Hobbies magazine many, many years ago. He is the one that got me into big fish. Just watching his images, looking at his images were amazing. And I met him in 2010, I think at the ACLC meeting. So Mo's a huge influence on me, and we became great friends, and he's someone that I can reach out to whenever I want to know some information, such as photography, which I'm into lately. Wayne Libel, I can't tell you how much of an influence he's been on me. He was the one that recruited me to become in the ACA convention, ACA organization. Whenever I had a problem or an issue or needed some advice, Wayne was always there for me. Wayne was my Yoda in the fish wars. I mean, he was the elder that I would go to for information, and he would be greatly missed.
He was a great guy, very funny, knowledgeable.
Some of the best talks you would ever see, the flower horn talk.
So hysterical.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Wayne. We love you. Tom Galooly.
Doesn't get better.
It doesn't get any better than Tom Galooly if it wasn't for him. I mean, the Cichlid Club of York owes him such a gratitude of thanks for all that he's done. Very early on when I was starting the club and doing meetings, he would donate fish and give us all the money. He would bring food. He would introduce me to people that would help me grow the club. He would introduce me to speakers. Tremendous, tremendous guy. And not only that, but whenever I wanted to go somewhere, like north, all I had to do was tell Liz that Tom Galooly would be there. And guess what? She'd say yes. So, Tom, we love you, and I know you're in the house somewhere, so hopefully you'll enjoy our presentation. We'll start real soon. There's just a few more people I want to shout out to. Kevin Carr, that's my guy. I call him my uncle, but he's really like my big brother. You got two guys from Jersey, me and Kevin. We're obnoxious, we're loud, we got a big personality, we love big fish. And
nobody runs an auction like Kevin Carr.
Nobody runs an auction like Kevin Carr. And Kevin, quite honestly, has probably taught me the most out of everyone here, especially when it comes to fish shows. He has shown me the tips that has probably made the difference between me winning and losing, because a lot of times it comes down to like 1 point. And it's those tips that Kevin has taught me that has helped me win many times. Next, Mark De Niro. I just want to shout out to him. Again, huge support system when I started the club up. Anytime I needed a speaker, I could ask Mark, and he would say yes. We needed a speaker at the Keystone Clash. He said yes. He's been able to get me fish that I never could get anywhere else, thanks to Mark.
He'd talk you into fish you didn't even want.
Absolutely. And we tried to, return the favor by bringing lots of people to a store. We did a lot of shop hops to a store. And I'm here basically largely because I want to say thank you to Mark. That's why we're doing this presentation. Last but not least, Ted Coletti. I felt like I had to put him on here.
He would have cried if he didn't.
He probably would unfriend me if I didn't bring him on here. Now, Ted Coletti is a good friend, but everything I said about Mo Devlin, he's the opposite. He's not a rock star. He's not cool. He's nerdy. He's a great guy. He's friendly. He's funny. And we love him, right?
Absolutely.
So, Ted, had to shout you out. Love you very much. As a matter of fact, I want to show some pictures of me and Ted, and he obviously loves us very much, so much so that Ted actually got down on one knee and proposed to me. I guess that's what the picture looks like, right?
That is what it looks like, and we were engaged at that point. He was trying to sneak in.
Don't say that part yet. Because I couldn't, because that same night I actually proposed to Liz.
My face.
A very, very special night for both of us. She said yes.
Yep.
And I have to say thank you, Bucks County, again, because those crowns that we're wearing are actually made or bought by Bucks County. They had champagne and food for us afterwards. We love Bucks County, we really do. This is the banquet afterwards, and Alan, as he always does, comes over and tells me all the medals he won that I didn't win.
Look how mad Biggs looks.
Ted is over here telling Liz that her ring's not real, which is not true. But what's funny is that I work for K Jewelers, so I wonder if the two are connected. And there's Biggs being Biggs, probably wondering who's going to bring him his next drink. Anyway, let's get in. Oh, these are some snapshots. We're going to get into this presentation, guys, I promise. But I really want to press on the fact about how great this hobby is. So this is a snapshot, I believe, at the Keystone Class. So. Ted Judy, Lisa from Super Cichlids, Rusty Wessel, Scott Maurer from, Reef to Riff, Michael Mull, who I think is the heart and soul of the Cichlid Club of York.
He always has been.
And just having a great time. Here's Charlie Grimes again, the Keystone Class.
If you have a chance to hear him speak, do it.
He is. You think Wayne was funny? Charlie is absolutely funny, and he's still with us. So anytime that he speaks, we should really go and support and see him. This was a Rusty Wessel in my fish room. I mean, these are moments in the hobby that have happened that I still can't believe sometimes. We met Charlie Grimes. Rusty came to my fish room and was bragging about my fish room. I mean, this is the Northeast Council. I got Mike Lou sitting on my lap, Peter George over there trying to flirt with Liz. I mean, I think we were all setting up for the Cichlid show that night. Again, NEC, here's Sheila, Gavin, Tom. I believe we were all aquascaping, having a great time. Two of my favorite people in the world, Alan and Karen, always having fun with us, teasing us, stuff like that. And there's Clay on that side as well. Greg Steves, we picked him up and we were taking him to, I speak at the ACL. I think so. We were taking him somewhere, but you can see he's got a care package in the back. We had so much fun with him. I think we were looking for coffee mugs or something for him till midnight at night. Great times. Again, NEC, You got Craig, you got Steve, you got beautiful Claudia, who is the heart and soul of the CARES program.
Yep.
And here's Liz and I getting ready to travel to Chicago, our first flight together, I think it was. ACA, for years, paid for our expenses to go to places. For 3 years running, we ran the ACA Cichlids show at the Aquatic Experience. So, in the end, guys, enjoy this hobby. It's wonderful. Apply yourself, volunteer, get involved. You never know what you will experience, the joy you'll have, the people you'll meet. That's my message to everyone. So, you probably wasted, what, 20 minutes now? Let's get into the presentation. It is called The Joys of Keeping Big Cichlids of the Americas. Now, this is me and Liz's thoughts about why we keep big cichlids and how to keep big cichlids. So, first thing I want to say is we're going to be talking about some of these cichlids. I want to kind of give you an area of where they come from. There's Central American cichlids, South American cichlids, and then there's one cichlid that actually comes from America, which is the Texas cichlid. Some of the Central American cichlids are the Midas, the Amphilophus family, the Midas, which includes Midas and Red Devil, Chancho, the Vieja family, which includes the Suspilum, and then the Parachromis family, which is the Jaguar, the Dovies, Red Tiger Motos. On the south side of Southern America, you have your green terror, the Rivellatus. You have your Festae, the Mesohirus Festae. And then you have the pike cichlids, which is the Crinocichlid. Crinocichlid is their family. I wanted to give you a general idea of where these fish come from. We're going to be talking about fish that get 10 inches and larger. So let's move forward. So why do we keep them? My number one thing is personality. I absolutely love American big cichlids. Excuse me, honey.
They're the perfect example of the wet pets, the water dogs. They are very interactive.
So I'm going to show you a short video of Tony, a friend of ours from the Ohio Cichlid Association. He has a beautiful, beautiful Amphilophus named Thor. That is a Labiatus, it's a red devil. And let's listen to what Anthony has to say about this fish. So let me hear that and us we talk, so I don't know what we want to do.
He says that, Dad, I really want 150, Daddy. I really want my bed back. I miss my ride. I brought your duck, though, didn't I? I brought your duck. What you call them, water dog? Water dog. Water dog. This fish will live 20 years.
That's why I want to stop you, because he's saying some of the things you're saying.
You've got a
we can re-say it when it gets to the next page. All right, so personality. As you heard Tony say, they're like water pets, water dogs.
Absolutely.
So you want to say some of what you just said, or
I've lost the train.
So some of the things about their personality, they are highly intelligent. And while we're talking about this stuff, I'm actually going to show a video of Liz playing with our Chancho. They are highly intelligent. They need daily attention all the time. I mean, if you guys ever keep Oscars, if you don't give them enough attention, they will actually sulk to the bottom of the tank. They love interaction. Interaction means what Liz is doing right now, or what Tony was doing before. Tony actually has a rubber duck he plays with. It's just amazing the bond that you will build with these fish, friendship and bond. That is, for me, the number one reason why I keep large American cichlids. They are so intelligent. Now, so I would challenge anyone out there to get in their tank with an African cichlid or your guppy or your tetra and try to pet them or play around with them, or even see them recognize you, like when you're bringing food or anything like that. So for me, that's why these fish are so special, and that's why it's the number one reason, personality. Next thing, why keep them? Breeding. For me, their breeding tendencies as parents, is some of the coolest things I've ever seen. So I'm going to show you a video that actually happened in my tanks on a regular basis. First one is the red tiger moto that's in my office. The second one is my jaguar tank. I'm just going to play it and we can talk a little bit while it's playing. So this is my red tiger moto pair, and yes, those are all her fry. So yeah, I mean, so here's the mom and the father, and this just a beautiful, for me, this is beautiful to watch. Next is my jaguar cichlid. It's in my 220-gallon tank. Not as many fry because these are a much older pair. This pair is about 10 years old, and as they get older, they don't produce as much fry, but it's still spectacular to see. Absolutely spectacular. We'll let this play out, and then we'll.
Out of it.
Okay. So one of the reasons why I love these fish is because of breeding. They're very easy to breed in my estimation. They lay eggs, male fertilizes the eggs, and they are great parents. As large as these fish are, they are delicate with their fry. They raise them, they protect them. The male and the female will take turns protecting the fry, scouting the area. I've even seen instances where the male or the female detects danger and they'll scoop up the fry, put them in their mouth, and move them to another area. Or I'll see them change their fan pattern to kind of signal that there's danger and they need to come over there. So I find that stuff very interesting. And I think some of you guys out there would too. Next, a large amount of fry. These guys produce a huge amount of fry, largely because in nature, there's so many different predators, whether it's other fish, birds, animals, that they have to produce a large amount of fry to survive. Now, of all the fry that you saw in that previous video, maybe 10% of the wild will actually make it to adulthood, because there's just so many different predators, catfish, everything going after and looking for food. Next thing, they're great parents, as I said before. Watching them take care of their fry, raising them, letting the fry eat off their skin. I mean, we've seen before where the parents will chew up the food and let the fry eat the food. Just some amazing stuff that I don't think you're going to see with any other fish. Last but not least, again, like I just said, amazing to absolutely watch. Now, I'd say these are easy to breed. If you do have some difficulties breeding these fish, just some quick tips. Make sure they're in a big enough tank. Make sure that there's coverage for the female, that she can go somewhere and hide, because generally when they're spawning, they get very aggressive. And the female generally, because she's smaller, needs a place to go. If that doesn't work, make sure there's something flat in the tank for them to lay their eggs on. Do water changes. Make sure your diet is good with them. Give them a range of foods. And last but not least, do water changes and really mix up that water temperature so it will act like the seasons are changing. Next, why do we keep them? Colors that pop. Now, guys, I've been saying this for years, I am so tired of hearing that African cichlids or saltwater cichlids are the most colorful cichlids in the world. They're absolutely not. American cichlids have some of the best color and can match up against any fish out there in the world. Some of the fish that I'm talking about here, I mean, look at these beautiful fish. You have the Sylvanii, there's some spillum here. Top right, you have a Midas that comes in many different colors. Down below, you have a true parrot, which is absolutely gorgeous. Green Terra, red Terra. You know, you love Geophagus.
Yep,
some
beautiful
of the
blues and greens.
They're absolutely beautiful cichlids. So don't let anyone fool you into believing that these guys are drab and you can't find colorful fish. I believe 100% that these guys are colorful, or more colorful than anything else out there. Why do I keep them? Size matters, right?
Absolutely.
So I like large fish. That's just my personality. I don't really enjoy seeing really small nano fish or schooling fish.
Is that because your eyesight's so bad you don't want to look for them?
That's probably part of the reason, yes. But I like large fish, and American cichlids are some of the largest cichlids in the world. I do have to tell you, You know, I'm embarrassed to say it, but the largest cichlid in the world is actually an African cichlid, and is called the Emperor cichlid. Thank you, from Lake Tanganyika. But still, I love my American cichlid. So what do we keep at our house? We keep large amounts of Amphilophus. We keep large amounts of Parachromis. That's generally what you're going to find in our fish room. Amphilophus will get up to about 18 to 20 inches. Parachromis, if you're talking about Dovi, will get up to 30 inches long, the male will. So that's a really large fish that's going to need a lot of space. But there are bigger fish. There are larger fish. I'm going to show you a shot of our male Dovi and female Dovi in our 265-gallon tank. He's a 20-inch male, and believe it or not, he still has 10 inches to go. I mean, just a beautiful, stunning fish. By the way, that tank that you just saw was given to us from Kelly, who again was a member of the Bucks County Aquarium. So thank you so much for that. Some of the other Central and South American cichlids that are large that you can get, again, make sure you do your research, make sure you have a large tank. The Rio Mag Umbi, there's also a chocolate Umbi, I believe, or black Umbi. Jaguar cichlids, peacock bass, the Dovi you already saw. There are lots of large fish out there. If you're on the large fish, like I am. So just wanted to make you aware of some of the different species that are out there. For beginners, though, we recommend Oscars. Here is a video of Liz feeding our Oscar.
And they are very social fish. They need your attention. They need to be felt loved, and I'll figure out the words.
Yeah, you're going great. And those Oscars love their mama, that's for sure. So, beginner fish, we recommend the Oscars. Texas cichlids is another easy fish that's going to kind of teach you how to take care of bigger fish. A lot of these fish I'm also showing are you can find at your local pet stores like Petco, PetSmart. The green terror is a very forgiving fish in my opinion. It's going to probably get 10 to 12 inches. And then down here, one of the easiest fish to keep and breed is the Jack Dempsey. So just keep those. If you like what you're seeing and you want to start slow and you want to start with some fish, Oscars, Texas cichlid, green terror, Jack Dempsey's, and I would even go as far as to say Jaguar cichlid. I mean, they're readily available.
And they're not going to be as aggressive as, say, a Dovi or something like that that's going to kill everything in your tank.
Yeah, because we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Why keep them? Size matters. Big tanks. Our responsibility as hobbyists to provide the best homes and conditions for our fish. So this is what I don't want to see. Overstocked tanks. This makes me sick when I see these fish. Now, the one on the top left doesn't look that crowded, but trust me, you have Air-One in there, you have peacock bass, you have Bala shark. That tank in a few months or a year is going to be as bad as the tanks down here. I'm going to tell you what I do in my fish room, and that's not saying it's right or wrong or anything, but I like to keep pairs of fish, give them lots of space to thrive. Again, with the thought of mind, we want to provide the best possible home for our fish. Here's Liz. This is a 150-gallon tank. This is our Jaguar tank. Ain't you pretty, Liz? And as you can see, we kind of aquascape it in the natural environment. That's a 6-foot-long tank. Plenty of room for a pair of cichlids. Why would you want to put anything else in here? I don't know, because the pair alone is just going to be enough. It's spectacular enough, in my opinion. I have to keep some fish separated. So you'll have 2 fish in a 6-foot tank, and then there'll be a divider in there, like this. It's hard to see the divider, but it's there. Those 2 fish are not in there by themselves. There's a divider there. As you can see, there's a divider here. So maybe what I'll do is take that one video out because it seems to be giving the problem. We don't need that one anyway, really. So, you know, if your fish can't get along, there is possibilities where you can put dividers in. This is still plenty enough room for 2 fish. I mean, 6 foot long, and you have fish that reach maybe 20 inches at best. Plenty of room. Next thing we want to do is we want to make it fun. Tank mates. All right, so some of the tank mates, you want to talk about tank mates, so this would be the time. You want to put fish in with, you want to have tank mates that are going to be able to handle the size and the aggression level that these American cichlids are going to have. Baler sharks seem to work well. Silver dollars, giant danios, tinfoil barbs down at the bottom, and large tetras. You have the Congo tetra here, and then you have the Buenos Aires tetra. That's what actually is behind us right now, are the Buenos Aires tetras, as well as some scissor tetras. And this pier side behind us is kind of mild mannered, so he doesn't really go after them, and they all seem to get along just fine. Some other tank mates, you can always put plecos in, catfish. We do have both in a lot of our tanks. In fact, there's one.
And they're also, you know, nice to have for that food that does get to the bottom. They pick up and do a little cleanup on that extra.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that in a little shortly, but absolutely right, Liz. You're going to need fish that eat from the bottom. Clown loaches is another one that you can possibly put in there.
Just make sure they don't fit in your particular fish's mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. Make it fun. So next thing you can do, and this is, I like to decorate my tanks to look like their natural habitat. I really, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I really tire of seeing people with large fish that just have a tank,
A bare bottom tank, nothing in it.
and that's it. And it's up to the hobbyists how they want to do it. There's definitely reasons not to do it, not to have decorations. But here is a look at our tanks. This is our Jaguar tank. Damn it.
Shameless promo there.
Yeah. And I'm sorry for the video footage, guys. That's not playing right. But yeah, so we really decorate our tanks, which reminds me, I want to have like the silk plants. I should have silk plants in here so we can kind of talk about them. All right, so, and those were pictures of some of our tanks, just to kind of show you some of the decorations that we do. All of them look pretty natural, and that's what we go for. Here's me setting up a tank, getting it ready to decorate. Be careful when you're doing this because, as you can see, the Jaguar cichlid does come after me a few times, but I really enjoy aquascaping my tanks. Driftwood rocks, you can get that anywhere. I mean, a lot of times you can get that at your fish clubs. I'm sure the BCAS has that. And then here are some plants that I'm using.
And there's different places you can source the plastic plants, make sure there's no metal in them, and they're pretty safe for your fish.
Yeah, so here you see, I'm just being artistic at this point. I'm just moving stuff around, trying to see how it flows, and making hiding places for the female, obviously. And you see that Jaguar keep coming out trying to hit me, but I fully believe that a decorated tank is a more healthy tank because the fish feel safe. They feel like they can go in places, hide, maneuver, you know, just really enjoy themselves. So why I keep them? Size matters, big tanks. You have to have great filtration, right? I mean,
yeah, because the bigger the fish, the more waste they do produce. So you want to make sure that you're keeping the water conditions healthy for them.
Now, what I'm going to tell you guys is that we always have two sets of filtration. One of them might be a sponge, one of them might be hang on the back, canister filter, sponge. It's normally sponge, hang on the back, or sponge. It's always a sponge and then a canister filter or a hang on the back because of stuff like this. This guy is just absolutely nuts. Ooh, I'm going. Just running into the filter and knocking it down. This is stuff that these guys will do. Again, sorry for the video footage, guys. But These fish are crazy and aggressive, and they will attack anything at any point. So that is why it's important to have backup. So in case this breaks like it does, you still have filtration taking place. So we recommend, there's 3 different filters: sponge filters, hang on the back, canister filter. Obviously there's a sump too, but we recommend having 2 of these at all times when it comes to American cichlids, because they will knock stuff over, they'll attack it, and you always want to have some sort of backup. The last thing you want to do is go away for a weekend and come back and the filter's not working anymore and your fish is suffering, or worse, not here. Size matters. Okay, other thing that's important, just as important as filtration, is water changes. So you want to do daily water changes.
Daily?
Weekly water changes, thank you. As you can see, even doing water changes, even doing what's best for the fish is not always accepted. This guy's going absolutely nuts trying to knock this water or this siphon out. I'm doing a lot of talking. Are you just like feeling this out right now?
Yes.
Okay. So water changes are really important to the fish, especially siphoning the gravel, because there's going to be stuff down there, especially if you don't have any catfish or plecos down there
to help clean that house.
Yeah, or loaches or whatever. All right, the other thing that's important is variety of foods. There's pellets, they're flaked, there's frozen.
Because you don't want to eat the same thing every day.
No, you sure don't. And here's some of my jags. We like to feed them pellets. And that's kind of slow motion. You can see them. That male is just kind of going to vacuum everything down. Again, guys, sorry for the video. I don't know if it's the storm or the connection, but you get the point that these guys like to eat. So, and this is when I also want to have the food here, like a Tetra.
Okay.
So we can kind of say, I use Tetra, I use North Fin flake food. The Cobalt, of course, which has been sponsoring
Cobalt,
us.
what's it? One that just sent us cups. I'm going to put some of that too.
The Dr. Tim's?
Yes.
Yeah, so Cobalt and Dr. Tim, let's definitely talk about. All right, guys, and then just want to shout out a couple of local businesses. J&J Aquatics, Super Cichlids, Martin and Lee's Tank are good suppliers of fish and supplies. So a lot of these things that you need, you can go to these local companies. They'll take care of you.
They're also supporters of the clubs.
Yep, and they ship as well. Tangled Up Cichlids, that would be my #1 spot. If you saw some fish that you're really interested in, definitely call Kevin at Tangled Up Cichlids, and he will hook you up. So, any questions? Is that long enough?
Yes.
Because you really didn't talk. Thank you very much. Then we're going to talk about the Keystone. Just want to remind everyone the Keystone Clash is taking place this year. It's an early bird special, blah, blah, blah. And we're done. Was that good?
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, that was perfect.
That was 40 minutes.
Wow. Wasn't that long? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm timing it right there.
Okay. And that was without any questions or anything, so.
No questions.
Yeah, that would be
You really didn't talk for maybe 2 minutes.